comes in from the government. It's finally defined what constitutes an e-commerce company. Not just that, 100% FDI has been allowed in companies that can be categorized as marketplace model. The Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion has put out a press note defining e-commerce companies. In that note, it says e-commerce means the buying and selling of goods and services, including digital products, over digital electronic network. The government has relaxed the rules on foreign direct investment, so 100% FDI will be allowed for a marketplace model. This essentially means that companies which act as a facilitator between a buyer and a seller and don't actually own any goods or inventory can now get 100% FDI via the automatic route. For example, this category will include companies like Amazon. However, FDI will not be allowed in companies that follow the inventory-based model. So basically, if a company owns the inventory of goods and services that it sells to its customers, FDI will not be allowed. However, FDI is also allowed in the B2C e-commerce model, but with certain riders. The company must sell its products made in India through an e-retail platform. A single brand entity trading through brick-and-mortar stores can undertake retailing through e-commerce. The Internet and Mobile Association of India has welcomed the development. NASSCOM has welcomed the development as well. But traders in the brick-and-mortar business are calling this a U-turn by the government on FDI and have in fact already threatened to protest. Snapdeal's co-founder Kunal Bahal has welcomed this development, saying that it clears all ambiguity. Listen in.
This is absolutely great news for our industry, and largely because it removes all ambiguity that has existed over the last few years and recognizes the transformative role that the e-commerce marketplaces have had on our country, especially the millions of small businesses who are selling to millions of consumers across the country, which earlier never happened. So government clearing these bottlenecks is a very, very positive sign and will impact the overall positive sentiment for India.
All right, that's Kunal Bahal welcoming the government's press note that's been put out by the DIPP, says that it clears the ambiguity. But does it? Vivek Gupta, partner at BMR Advisors, joins us now on the phone line. Vivek, largely good news for the e-commerce business, for companies like Snapdeal, but more importantly for companies like Amazon, because remember, Amazon in its regulatory filings in the US to the SEC has been talking about the possibility of regulatory changes in India, and now the government saying 100% FDI through the automatic route allowed in the marketplace model basically paves the way for the likes of Amazon, doesn't it?
So, Shireen, I agree with you. I think an explicit position from the government on where it stood with reference to e-commerce has been long overdue. However, this notification does not in a way state any new policy. The fact of the matter is that all that was prohibited earlier was retail trading. And so long as, therefore, anyone is acting like a facilitator, what is defined as the marketplace, that was already a permitted activity for 100% FDI. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, the government has made explicit what was perhaps a part of the policy already. I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you when you say that this blesses existing structures and therefore makes doing business easier. Yes, it does. The government net has chosen to bless the existing marketplace model with some safeguards to ensure that the marketplace does not start behaving like the retailer. So that's exactly what's happened, and therefore it's positive across the board for e-commerce marketplaces.
But Vivek, let's also talk about the conditions that have been attached now as far as the B2C e-commerce model is concerned. And there are about 3 or 4 different conditions that the government has asked them to comply with. Namely, a manufacturer is permitted to sell its products manufactured in India through the e-commerce retail route. A single brand retail trading entity operating through brick and mortar stores is permitted to undertake retail trading through e-commerce. And then there's also the business of Indian manufacturers would be the investee company, which is the owner of the Indian brand, which manufactures in India in terms of value at least 70% of its products in-house and sources at least 30% from Indian manufacturers. Do you believe that these conditions are going to make it harder for compliance?
No, not really, because see, this is all reflective of the government's overall position with respect to single brand retail. So what the government is effectively doing is, on the one hand, it is saying that the marketplace model of retailing actually is not retailing per se, because there one seller is acting with one consumer and the platform is only acting as a marketplace. So it's not retail trading. It will not be subject to any of those restrictions, and therefore 100% FDI is permitted there. So that clears all the large platforms that exist for online sales, online e-commerce today. So that is one part. The second part of what you're saying, manufacturers can do B2C e-commerce. The manufacturers can do physical retail. In the same way, they can do B2C e-commerce. Single brand retail, you have a policy. Likewise, single brand retailers now can do single brand e-commerce as well. So that's part of the policy. The second segment you just picked up in your question is the policy where e-commerce and physical retail is in a way likened. So the conditions are made quite similar. On the first part, marketplaces have been explicitly blessed. This is something which had to be done. Huge investments have already happened. An entire ecosystem has come up. Industries worth billions of dollars have come up. So I don't see the government having had much choice here to state a policy position. And frankly speaking, the marketplace model was in any case in compliance because so long as it was not retailing. So as long as safeguards exist to make sure that the marketplaces are not acting like retailers, that model is in consonance with your FDI policy any which way.
So in a sense, it is a reiteration of the earlier policy, but explicitly being stated there, blessing, as you say, the marketplace model. But very quickly, Vivek, before I let you go, explicitly also reiterating the fact that FDI is not permitted in the inventory-based model of e-commerce. But do you believe that most of the industry has actually anticipated that and worked its way around that in any way?
Yes, that's absolutely right. So inventory-based e-commerce models were retail, and therefore over time, as we've seen the industry evolve, everyone's moved large parts of its business, if not their entire business, to the marketplace model any which way. So while not going into specifics of companies, I would say that generally speaking, this is a positive announcement. The industry expected this, and marketplace not being retail, whereas inventory trading being retail, was the distinction that was being speculated about any which way.
All right, Vivek, we leave it there. Appreciate you joining us here. Vivek Gupta there of BMR Advisors, taking us through the guidelines that have been put out by the DIPP on FDI and e-commerce. As Vivek saying there, a reiteration, an explicit reiteration of the earlier guidelines, blessing the marketplace model. And of course, compliance will perhaps now be easier for most of the e-commerce players. The other story now